We're competing with the very real time demands and workload pressures on staff in a very competitive business environment.
Hello and welcome to Perspectives. I'm Dean Cooper.
And I'm Mia Forbes.
Starting in the early 1950s, the medium of television swept the world, and within a single decade realized the promise of Marshall McLuhan's global village. With the introduction of microwave and satellite service, it is possible to broadcast television images around the world at the flick of a switch.
Television is the most powerful communication device known to man. The greatest number of programs being produced are never seen by people like you and me. In this program, we'll look inside the corporate television industry, see examples of the finest in Canadian non-broadcast television, and find out why Canadian companies are investing millions of dollars in video production.
This is the world of non-broadcast television. This is the world of corporate communication.
Say long time to be gone.
Well, we use video quite extensively, actually, at Apple, primarily for two reasons. First of all, we use it for informational purposes. That could be training of our internal employees or dealers, some way that we want to communicate specific information. The more exciting use of video, really, and quite frankly, the more fun use of video, is the motivational stuff. We use it at sales meetings, we use it at product launches, and it creates a very, very strong image that we're trying to portray. We've been very successful. I think we're probably one of the innovators in this area.
Videotape allows us, number one, to teach things in real time, which means that we can have, for example, a manager on the screen who's talking to a new employee or to an existing employee, training or demonstrating, I should say, a specific procedure, doing it in real time. And what that does is it allows the employee to see how something should be done, not just the steps, but it imparts hidden information. It allows us to have a second manager in a store, because we've got a manager now on videotape who is keeper of the standards, if you will. When we pop in a videotape on cooking procedure, for example, well, that manager shows that employee how to cook chicken exactly the same way every single time you play it. It never varies.
Notice how close the pieces are to the surface of the shortening before I release them. This is to reduce splashing. You'll also notice I load the basket working from the back of the cooker towards the front. This is to spread the pieces out in the basket.
In the hospitality industry, excellence really counts. Sutton Place, a world-class hotel in Toronto, is an industry leader in the use of television as a powerful means of communication. As one of the first major hotels to commission non-broadcast video production, Sutton Place is ahead of its competitors and is leading the way.
I think the picture speaks 1,000 words. And sometimes at sales presentations, by taking a videotape like this on a tour, I think you can say in a very brief period of time the whole story and express the beauty and the flavor of the hotel, much more so than you can do in a brochure or by speaking in person.
Television is our principal form of entertainment for so many thousands of people, and this is really the way to be. I think we like it because of its immediacy and the fact that we have this network throughout General Motors where we can really get a message across in a graphic fashion. What we're dealing with here, of course, is information flow, and by using television, this is the way we can get that information out immediately.
all of our facilities in Canada have been receiving a substantial amount of new investment to improve the technology and the quality levels of the products that we're producing here.
The Royal Bank of Canada, with 38,000 employees in Canada and around the world, is a leader in the field of non-broadcast television.
Michael Gowling, manager of video services, explains how the Royal Bank's image is presented in the non-broadcast programs he produces.
This implicit message is communicated through tone and style and our approach to message design. Contrary to what Marshall McLuhan says, the message is the message. The Royal Bank of Canada committed itself to non-broadcast television in 1984 with the installation of 600 VCR TV playback units in major branches and offices across Canada. Because of the economy of message delivery and the effectiveness of information transfer offered by the medium, we completed the third and final phase of implementation with now totaling 1,650 units around the world, suggesting that we do and will remain committed to non-broadcast television for some time to come.
By the mid-1960s, television was in almost every home in North America. More than ever before, business managers became conscious of their corporate image. In the late 70s, as television production costs came down and equipment was miniaturized, smart managers became aware of the possibilities of enhancing corporate image to an even greater degree with non-broadcast television.
Number one is achieving the superior product quality. And this is the cornerstone of everything we do here at General Motors. We're in a fiercely competitive world, and we've had to get this message across to our employees at all levels.
A quick look now at the individual models. And for 1986, 5 of the 10 top-selling cars in Canada were GM products. The list: Ford Tempo, Pontiac 6000, Chevrolet Celebrity, Plymouth Reliant, and Chevrolet Cavalier. On top of that, GM's Chevette placed number 9 on the list, and the Oldsmobile Sierra number 10.
Because we're trying to show that we are a hotel in the downtown core, of the city, that we are in an area which can appeal to with a cosmopolitan flair to the corporate, upper echelons, to host their meetings or functions at our hotel.
While the primary message or objective for each program is explicitly different, there is an implicit message in all of the video programs that we produce at the Royal Bank that is reflective of our audience and of our corporate mission. That is, serving customers well is the reason for everything we do. Now, there's a lot in that statement. You could ask, is there a conflict between serving customers well and making a buck? We don't think so. If you're not looking after customers well, you won't have to worry too long about profitability because it just won't be there. So profitability falls out of serving customers well. Because of the commitment to and the investment in and our experience in video communication, we've been able to consistently communicate that message in all of the programs that we produce.
An important aspect of customer service is the ability to identify people who are hearing impaired, such as a person who doesn't hear when called, or who hesitates to speak, or someone who uses gestures, watches your lips, or who gives answers that don't fit with your questions.
May I help you?
Some deaf or hard of hearing people introduce themselves with the Communicard.
How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Yes?
Here's my deposit slip, and here's my card to show that I'm hard of hearing.
The Communicard indicates that the customer is hearing impaired and tells you what to do while serving them.
I think we can clearly see that our collective efforts have changed the world of personal computing forever.
Well, as you certainly know, Apple is well known both in this specific industry as well as broadly throughout the business community for being a very, very innovative company. And we want to carry that theme through virtually everything we do. in order to have our salespeople and our dealers represent the innovation to the broader community, we have to be able to treat them in the same way. So innovation really is a key theme in our use of video.
We wouldn't even want to hide the corporate image. It's not something we'd want to do. It's a reality. Every company, to a certain extent, has an image. Some have a stronger culture than others. Ours has a very strong corporate culture. When you're dealing with new employees who may not be aware of that, you want them to understand as well. You want them to get a feeling for what the company feels and the people that work here feel.
A new television production industry has been created out of the demand for corporate television. This is business show business. For the money they are investing, corporations demand top quality product. Producers of non-broadcast television have responded by creating a dynamic, competitive industry.
We chose a quite well-known outside anchor man because we wanted to create an image of a quality program. And we felt that by using someone that was well-known and was good, that would immediately come across.
We're fast, we're efficient, and we're cost viable, if you want. And as far as the expectations go, I think people look at television at home and they see all the glitz, and you've got to have some of that in an internal production, or it's going to look Mickey Mouse and second rate. Television can't do everything. We can do some things very well. We're going to be doing those same things even better in the future, better because of the equipment, but the way technology is advancing, that's going to bring the cost down too. It costs, in television terms now, no more to produce a television news program of, let's say, 20 minutes than it does to produce a 4-page company newspaper.
We use video in conjunction with more traditional media. It is fairly uncommon for us to, say, for example, send out a piece of tape to someone and say, here it is, here's your information, go to it. Quite frankly, it's the variety of technology that we think is very important to be able to communicate the same themes in some different ways.
Today, there are Apple computers to answer a variety of office needs. There are versatile Apple IIs and Apple IIIs. There is Apple software and Apple peripherals for hundreds of different applications.
I think print material, always has to be there. I think while the video is emerging more and more to major travel agents and corporate travel bureaus, to have this video cassette on in their library, I don't think print material will not in the immediate future replace video.
Every program that we send out is accompanied by a video program viewer evaluation form or survey that people in each location, after they have their discussion about the program, fill out as to the usefulness of the program, the timeliness of it, whether the objectives were apparent or not apparent. And we also ask questions about the suitability of the medium.
Okay, freeze! All right, this is... All right, everybody down. Get down on the floor. Get down. Get down. Everybody get down.
All your cash, in here.
Mass market television is always designed to appeal to the largest possible viewing audience. It's ultimately the number of people watching that determine a program's success or failure. But non-broadcast television presents a more complicated problem. Successful corporate video is the art of communicating a specific message to a specific target audience.
When we're producing video, we produce it always for a specific purpose. And so for each individual project, there is a primary and a secondary target audience. Let's take an example. When we're launching a product, for example, we want to be able to communicate both to our own salespeople as well as to the dealer community. And the dealer community is extremely important for us. They have to support our products, they have to feel good about us in order to talk to the general public about it. So in a sense, they're probably the most important group. And then secondarily, our own internal salespeople, because it's very important that they buy into the whole philosophy as well.
We produce and distribute upwards of 25 programs a year through the Royal Bank Video Network. Target audiences range from specific job functions, say customer service representatives and tellers for procedural training, to bank-wide audiences, 38,000 employees worldwide, on issues ranging from compensation, our share ownership plan, on our corporate goals and strategic direction, to a planned monthly, quarterly video magazine.
Managements in all companies now have a sense of accountability. They are willing and they look forward to, in many cases, explaining their position. A few years ago, that never happened. Management said this, and that was it. And particularly if you were a wholly owned company, we run our own business, like Eaton's, for instance. We don't talk to the media.
20 years ago, they wouldn't have even known who the company president was. They wouldn't have even known who their plant manager was because of the enormousness of the whole thing. Now they see the company president. They see him quite frequently. They see members of their own supervision. They see their plant managers, and they see each other. So all this whole communications process is, as I say, the immediacy is there. They see the guy's face. They see him talking. They see this dialogue going on. So it's a very short line now between the people on the factory floor or in the office or whatever it is and the guy that's running the place.
I'm looking at it most positive in the sense of using the video equipment for training and to see the employees, that they can see themselves, they can see me, they can see my reaction, they can see my enthusiasm, and they can see themselves, how they have achieved something, and their colleagues can see them.
There is, to a certain extent, a minimally acceptable level of professionalism that has to be there. And I like to think that the programs that we're producing are professional. They're just not necessarily gone with the wind. I mean, we're not trying to produce a lavish, extremely expensive, entertaining piece of video. What we're trying to do is take some information, pass it on to someone as cleanly, as quickly, and as efficiently and pleasantly as possible.
I don't think we are competing with broadcast television or the quality standards of the entertainment industry. We're competing with the very real time demands and workload pressures on staff in a very competitive business environment. So it's imperative that we produce programs that have a very clear statement of viewer benefit right up front. Programs that within the first 30 seconds answer the questions on everybody's lips, what's in it for me?
We think human interest stories are very vital to the program because it's a hook, if you want. It's a connection that the audience can make. You can't be serious all the time, let's face it, and you've got to hold people's interest. You can still put a message across, but you can put it across without somebody sitting there droning away at you, giving you the message.
The program should be entertaining. You don't want to preach to people. This is not an instructional program. It's got to have high entertainment value, because I think people have a tendency to compare what you get between programs. And you know, a man goes home at noon hour, he watches whatever's on the tube when he goes home. He comes back to the office. He makes those kinds of comparisons.
One of the big successes was the whole formula that we used last year for the series. One is affordable racing in an exciting group of automobiles.
It's the feel that people get from the video that's most important. We want them to walk away with a feeling, certainly specific information and a perceptual understanding, but a strong feeling. In order to do that, music is extremely important. We use music a lot. Typically, say, after a sales meeting, we would issue each person a copy of the key music theme from that sales meeting. For example, in 1983, the theme was Leading the Way, and it's still a very, very strong memory in my mind.
Let me say that with all our programs, we have a standard opening that changes per show, but it's a very show-busy, not glitzy, but it's a fast-moving introduction like you would see in commercial television, simply because your audience, wherever it is used to commercial television, and you have to provide them with much the same thing. General Motors is it's very fast, cut to music. Sports cars are in there, but people throughout. Technology is in there, robots in the plants, product, of course, on the road, cars and trucks, people on the production line, people working computer terminals, but very fast cutting, and the image, I think, of a leading-edge company. I'm Ken Cavanaugh. This is GM Magazine with significant developments, not only in General Motors, but throughout the industry.
You have to think of the audience. And the people that we're providing these training programs for are very familiar with TV. They're used to learning things on TV. It's a Sesame Street generation. I mean, I'm part of it. I like watching TV. I'm used to seeing live action, people talking and telling me things.
In this day of jet-setting and hustle and bustle, it is sometimes easy to forget the finer things in life. Fortunately, there is a place where a busy individual can slow down and appreciate those finer things. I speak of one of 200 of the leading hotels of the world. Elegant is perhaps the only word that can be used to adequately describe the experience of even a short visit.
If we look at the total number of programs going out, 25 a year, say, 15 minutes long average time, you look at the cost of viewer time, the cost for employees to be off the job watching a video program 15 minutes long, 25 times a year, the number of employees we had, that actually adds up to $1,800,000 every year. That's $75,000 per program. So we better be seen to be making a difference in the bank and communicating information of value to the people that have to do the banking business.
A Royal Bank report from Calgary, Toronto, and Ferndale, BC.
We are here today to do a Royal Bank Junior Olympics promotion.
When the Royal Bank goes on television, it speaks for thousands of employees in hundreds of branches across the country. It speaks to customers and potential customers, and also to our families and friends. What they think of our messages and the way we present them matters very much to all of us. That's why people like Prince George branch manager Pete Conkin are involved. It's your campaign, and we want you to feel a part of it.
Are we training people faster and more efficiently today than we were 5 years ago? Yes, absolutely. We're putting new people on stream in a store more quickly. It takes less hours to train someone using these new video training programs than it did before. And that's money in the pocket of the people that are running stores. In that sense, absolutely, they're working. Could it be done better? I don't think there's anyone in the world that doesn't think that whatever there is couldn't be done better. And hopefully, we will be doing it better. We'll be doing things next year better than we're doing them today, just as today we're doing things better than we did last year.
Is there something of a...
I
I think video will always play a strong role in Apple's future. Certainly it is. It's been a very, very successful media for us, and we intend to continue to use it in a big way. We use video on a worldwide basis, effectively. We produce video typically in the United States for use across the world to produce key messages. And that enables us to do very, very high quality, very innovative things, which have been very, very successful. And I think we'll be continuing to do that.
The world of corporate communication is fast-paced and ever-changing. A new integration of technical systems produces information transfer with speed and clarity never before imagined.
Just a few examples of the most innovative and successful directions in corporate video, whether it's for staff training, product knowledge, to develop employee morale, or sales promotion. Non-broadcast television is proving itself in the marketplace as a valuable tool for the business leaders of today and tomorrow.
We'd like to give special thanks to all those corporations who have shared their video work with us in this program. If it were not for their generosity and cooperation, this inside look at the private world of corporate television would not have been possible. It appears that there's an exciting future for both the producers and consumers of non-broadcast corporate television.
I'm Dean Cooper. For Mia Forbes, thanks for watching. We look forward to seeing you again on Perspectives.